Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Just Ask Jen. It's kind of crazy. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, took off the summer in the first couple of months of school, and I'm going to fill you in a little bit about why that is. So, thanks so much for being here. Super excited to chat with you today. So, let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from and all the good things. If this is your first time popping in for Just Ask Jen, my name is Jennifer Hall, and this is the first time I'm saying this. I am now a digital learning specialist for Atlanta Public Schools. That's kind of one of the reasons I've been on hiatus is I moved into a new role during the beginning of this school year. Super excited about the new opportunity to support my district and kind of blend my two passions. I'm a former middle school language arts teacher. I taught middle school language arts for 17 years. 9 of those years I taught gifted ELA. And then the last 8 years I was an ed tech specialist and supported schools throughout the district. And now as a digital learning specialist for literacy, I'm getting to tap into both of my passions, which I'm super excited about that. So let me know who's tuning in if you're watching from the future. Thanks so much for watching. Super excited that you're going to hang out, spend a little time with me today. So let's dive in here with a couple of things. Couple of highlights over the last couple of months. So like I said, took the summer off from Just Ask Jen, and then we got back into school in August 1st. Kids came back, and I had the opportunity to pop into some classrooms and do a couple of lessons. So I kind of want to share that out. And then we'll talk about some tools and resources that I think you might be interested in checking out. And also highlight some questions that have been submitted. And just know you can put questions in the comments. If you're watching live, I'll do my best to answer those. And if you're watching from the future, I do come back and check out those comments. So please drop those comments in the chat. So first thing that I got to do that was so awesome this year was that I pushed into an 8th grade social studies class to do stop motion. So the teacher came to me and said, "Hey, Jen, we're working on our key vocabulary for the unit, and what would be a fun way to make it engaging?" She's like, I've heard about stop motion. Do you have any ideas? What are some tools you can do?" So my question to her was, all right, so you said it's key vocabulary, so that tells me something. Did she want them to work independently on it, or was she wanting to have a tool that would allow them to collaborate? And she's like, yeah, they could work in teams. That'd be pretty good. So the solution that I suggested was actually creating stop motion animations using Google Slides. And if you haven't seen that, it's pretty easy to do. And so I'm going to actually show you this was my little exemplar. So don't judge my, I'm not an artiste, but I'm a fan of using shapes to create things. And so that was the requirement. Aside from this flag, which is the Georgia flag, everything else was completely created from shapes. So I created this as an example before I pushed into the class. So let's take a look at this real quick. Let's see if it's going to auto play here for me. So using slides, it's literally one slide per element that we added in here, adding a little bit of shift here. But notice that the key vocabulary, the things that they needed to know, I bolded for examples, and the students were able to pick a couple of vocabulary, not all of them, to create their scenes. So for the establishment of the colony of Georgia, we know that King George, Georgia was named for, and James Oglethorpe got the Pilgrims, the folks, to come over from England to settle the country, to settle in Georgia. It was kind of interesting that this was my creation. Not bad. What do you think? Let me know. Be honest. Let me know in the chat. What do you think? But it was kind of a fun way to talk about vocabulary. So actually the lesson I pushed in on day 2 of the lesson because they were just getting started with the unit. And so I showed them how to do this so that they'd be able to create their stop motion animations throughout the unit. So at the end, they would have this visualization of the key vocabulary that they learned. So it's kind of a fun lesson that I got to push in and work with those 8th grade students. And I worked with 4 classes. It was a lot of fun. So if you are interested in trying a lesson like that, actually on the YouTube channel, I have a tutorial. It was done for science class. Same concept though, of how you can turn it into a stop motion animation. So check that out if that's something you're interested in. All right. So the other lesson that I got to, let me close out of this here. The other lesson that I got to do was to push into 8th grade. Was I won for the 8th grade uh, students I got to work with. And that was to create a TikTok style um, report. So same thing. Teacher comes to me and says, "Hey, normally we do this project that's called a adopt an element. Basically, it's a fancy way of saying they had to research a particular element and create a visualization for it." So I said, "All right, let's what are their criteria?" So normally this would be a piece of paper that they just filled out in all the boxes, and so I pitched the idea of creating a TikTok style video. So this is a little template that I created for them. It's pretty cool. So all of this was created in Canva. So the kids love TikTok. And the idea is that you can use everything in Canva. We have Canva in our district for all students to have access. And I was able to create this template and share it with the students via Google Classroom, and then they could just modify it. My challenge to them was to take this. This was just a base template, and that they were to get as creative as they could and improve my template. And if a student really wanted to start from scratch, they had that option as well. So what you're seeing here is actually like the blank elements where they could actually plug in that information they had to include from their research. And this was a hit. I pushed into 4 classes, and they very much enjoyed this opportunity to showcase their research in a way that they found engaging. And this was a great opportunity for the teachers to tap into what the students enjoy doing. So if you are not a school district that uses Canva, there are ready-made templates in there. You can also take a look at Adobe Creative Cloud Express, which is now Adobe Express, and do the same type of project with them. So the idea is TikTok style research report. This was, again, done for science, but you could do the same thing. I imagine this would be perfect for ELA if you had to research an author and you could do a TikTok style video about that person that you've researched. Or maybe in math class, you're creating a video about math in the real world and doing it TikTok style. So just wanted to share that out as another highlight, pushing into the classrooms. It was a lot of fun as I was letting teachers know I was moving into my new role. I had a lot of folks who were like, "We need to book you while we can." So in my new role, I now support a number of schools. I support all the schools in the district and support the folks that are in the schools. And so I'm hoping to still get in and work with students and to work on more lessons like this. So this was a couple of highlights of pushing into classrooms. If you're interested, the template is available, and I will put that link in the description of the video. If you want to grab it, you're welcome to. All right. So let's dive in and talk about some apps, resources, sites, tools, extensions, all the things that maybe you are interested in diving in and exploring. These are some of the ones I've shared out over the last couple of email newsletters, but I want to highlight some of the ones that I thought were really good ones that you might be interested in checking out. Thanks so much, Peter. I appreciate that. I'm very excited about the new opportunity. It's interesting. This is year 25 for me in education, or excuse me, 26. That's crazy to me. And so I'm just excited to support more teachers in our district. So Figma. How many of you have heard of Figma? I'm just curious. Figma is actually a online whiteboard tool, and it is now free. They just announced that it is free for students and teachers, which you can gain access to that at figma.com education. So I'm gonna hop over here for a second, take a look at it. You do need to get verified by putting in your school email to get verified. The reason I was excited about Figma becoming a free tool is that it's connected with Google, and it's perfect for us in our district where we have students that have Chromebooks, and you want to have a whiteboarding tool that's pretty powerful. They also have their other tool, which is called Figma Design, which is more for design iteration, but both of those are fantastic. So I love the idea that you can have this whiteboard tool that students can collaborate on it real time. It's a little more robust. Like, I love Jamboard. Jamboard was one of my favorite tools during the pandemic. It was clutch because teachers needed a whiteboard tool. But this is just another powerful option for you to use. And then, like I said, the Figma Design is for graphic design and digital illustration. So if you're working with your students, this is a perfect tool for CTAE programs, or maybe in your high school. dive in there. So they actually have the education plan. You just need to go ahead and sign up for Figma, get verified at the education thing. You just need to say, hey, I'm an educator. I already got approved. It came back, no problem. And then you can set up a team, and so you can monitor your students' projects. So I wanted to throw that out there as a tool that, especially if you're a Google district that's using Chromebooks, this is a powerful tool that you want to add to your toolbox. All right. So hopping along here, looking at some other tools here. Another tool that just became free, super excited about this, is Kapwing. I've had people say it Kapwing, I think is the correct pronunciation for it. So Kapwing is a web-based video editor. And I shared this out as a tech tip a couple of years ago. At the time, they had the free version, which was pretty robust. But for the most part, you couldn't do everything you wanted to do. But they've added some cool functionality, including it has green screen functionality. The cool thing is it's now free for educators as well. And you can sign up for your free account. Let me pop over here and see. You can sign up for it, and you need to get verified. I already got verified for mine. It took just like 2 days. Again, using your school email. I will point out it's for students and teachers, but the students need to be 13 years or older because of just privacy stuff. So just keep in mind. So that's really going to be a high school tool, middle schoolish if you've got 13 or older. But because it's web-based, again, great for our district because we're Chromebooks, and you can go in and you can collaborate on it. And the game changer for me is that it has the collaboration, and it has a chroma keying feature for green screen. And it also has a subtitle feature. So if you are working with diverse learners and you want to create some content, even though you don't want your students to use it, you might use it to create content that's going to put those subtitles in to support your language learners. So I thought that was pretty cool. So another bonus fact that it's free. Free is always the favorite price. And then next up, as we're sliding along here with some tools, and if you're seeing anything that looks interesting, let me know in the comments. You're like, yeah, I can't wait to try that out, or cool, I'm glad to know that's free. Let me know. I did want to give a shout out to the latest video that dropped on the YouTube channel, which is I'm doing a Canva series. This is the Canva Record Yourself feature. If you've not seen this, this is awesome. The ability for you to screen record and record yourself and drop it right into Canva in their video editor is amazing. Another opportunity for us in our district, we're very big on personalized learning and student reflection. So this is clutch for teachers to be able to say, hey, create your presentation, and now I want you to reflect on your learning and record a video and be able to edit it. Now, you can do that in Flip as well, and I'm a big fan of Flip. But Flip is I can record it and I got to submit it right now. But this is for those students that need to do like a long-term video reflection and add to it like a portfolio. All right. Here's another one that I thought was pretty cool. This is an avatar maker that is doesn't really even require a login. It's a Chrome extension. So I'll kind of show you here. You can hop in and you can grab this up over here. You can install the Chrome extension. And when you do that, and we're going to make sure we got it up here. It's called the Avatar Maker. So I'm going to open it right now. And what it does is we're not going to rate it right now. We'll take a look at it. So it automatically, let's see here. Hold on. I realized this is always the fun thing. Hold on. I can see it on my end, but you all cannot because it is grabbing. Aha. Give me a second here. I got it. It's the magic behind. There we go. All right. So it was hiding behind it's a pop-up window. So now I can show you the whole screen real quick. So notice I can do a random one, which is kind of interesting. Or I can actually choose, do I want it to be circled? Do I want it to have a transparent background? And I can choose hairstyles. I've got not a ton of options, but I was thinking about this as an opportunity for your students to create a little cartoon that doesn't require a login, and they could have this cartoon be their representation of themselves. So I went through and I had to find, I went with it. You know, I love my spiky hair. That's my style. I went with this one. It was as close as I could get. And you can pick your hair color. You can pick the color, the circle behind you. I can pick my glasses. So I went with like you can do some retro. Oh, I'm not rocking the pink hair. We're going to go with, eventually I'll be this gray, probably, right? No mustache, no beard or mustache. Let's see here. Crew neck shirt or me. I love a good hoodie. I think that was one of my options. Sweatshirt, hoodie. Perfect. Not having dizzy eyes, although my eyes are bothering me right now, but we're going to go with, I'm surprised. That's how I'm feeling right now. And then I can choose mouth. For students, you have skin tone, so you can actually create a student that they can create an avatar that represents themselves. And then I can choose to just save this and download it. And now I've got this little cartoon that I can use in a digital space or something. I just thought it was kind of cool because, again, it does not require that you log in. And you can just randomly make avatars. It's kind of silly. Or you could also do this as a story starter randomly, and based on what's happening with the character, you got to write a story. Like right now, that facial expression, I could come up with a story about that. I don't know, just thought it was kind of an interesting tool that you might want to add to your toolbox. All right. So let's hop back over here. And there we go. So what do we think? Any ideas of how you could use the free Chrome extension for the avatar maker? Let me know in the comments. All right, here's another tool that I thought was kind of interesting. This is called snapdrop.net. So I don't know about you, but it's really frustrating when you're like, okay, I've got this picture I got on my phone, but I need to get it to my Google Drive. So I've got to download it or upload it to my Google Drive, then to pull it onto my other computer and so forth. So this is actually, and I'm not a tech expert, but it's amazing how it uses on your Wi-Fi with no login required, the ability to share files on the same network. So this is really easy that if a student says, oh, I have it on my phone, I just want to send it really quickly, you can actually do that by just going to the snapdrop.net, and I could take a picture. Let's see if this is going to cooperate for me. So I'm on my Snapdrop. I'm gonna go to it on my phone. Let's see if this is going to cooperate. Give you a little opportunity behind the scenes. So as you can see, I'm going to go to this Snapdrop. There we go. So when I get to my phone here, I have on my screen, it says, all right, I can see each of these. All right. And I can choose to upload a photo. So I'm going to go to my little photo library here. And here's my selfie of the day that I took today. And I'm going to click add. And right now, just like that, with one button, it automatically said, would I like to grab this? And I can now save this to my local computer. I think that's kind of magical because no login was required. And it's easy way for sharing files. Notice it didn't automatically download. It gave me the option to save it. So kind of cool. And so now I can open up this picture. And let's see here. Yep, it did appear on my end. All right, very cool. So just another little tool to add to your toolbox. So what do you do? Kind of magical. The person that came up with that idea, I give them props. All right, so moving right along here with another tool to add to your toolbox. So I'm a big fan of Canva. Super excited that it was just announced earlier this week that I am a member of the U.S. cohort of the Canvassators. They just started this new teacher Canvassar program. I love all things Canva. And they added, if you didn't see it, it was released right at the beginning of the school year. And that was actually the new whiteboard feature. So I know I mentioned Figma being a whiteboard tool, which is great. And it allows collaboration. It's pretty a high functioning tool. But if you have access to Canva, this is a great option as well. So you'll notice I can just click a whiteboard right here, go right into this whiteboard. And so the whiteboard space, I can use existing templates that they have to start with if I want, or I can start from scratch. Now, what's amazing here, I'm going to click on this design thinking one. Notice it added that whole template in there, and I can go in and I can customize this template if I want. So I can go in here and change out any element that I want. But what's great about using Canva as a whiteboard is that your students are required to be logged in, and you can actually see them physically moving around. Jamboard, you can like see when they type something, like where their avatar is, but here there literally is a little avatar around on the entire workspace so you can see that think time, and you can also see who's engaging as they're typing. It was amazing. If you didn't get a chance to watch the Canva Create session that they just had, so Canva Create was their first ever global event where they shared out the new, what they're calling the Canva Work Suite, which the design suite, which is having the whiteboard tool, having the video tools, having the ability to create presentations. They've added a new feature called Docs. Docs is, I'm excited to play with that. But if you watch that, you'll see all of the moving pieces in that interactive space is amazing. So I would definitely recommend checking out Canva's whiteboard tool if you haven't already done so. That was definitely a highlight for me because, again, teachers are always looking for a whiteboarding collaboration type space, and you can leverage the draw feature inside of Canva. So if I hop over here, if you didn't know there was a draw feature, you go to more, that's where you see all the good stuff. So if I go to more, I can go down here, and we're going to see it says draw. It's in beta, so it might be buggy sometimes, but oh, I just learned something live. Okay, I told a story. I thought we could use the draw right now. It can't be used on whiteboards yet. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's all channel our energy that will be happening soon, because that would be a game changer for that. Okay, I thought it was available, but not yet. Wishful thinking on that one, Jen. All right. So moving right along as we're talking about some more tools, but again, using whiteboarding tools is great for that time skills practice, PLC planning. I was in a PLC meeting with the ELA coaches earlier this week. This is a great opportunity for them to practice it, to be able to model it for their teachers, and the teachers in turn can use it with their students. Great for flowcharts, draggable activities, design thinking, thinking maps, all of that are great ways that you can use Canva's whiteboard tool. Another neat extension that I think is pretty powerful. I get asked a lot about tutorials very quickly. Hey, Jen, do you have a tutorial on this? Or sometimes it warrants an entire video tutorial, and other times it just needs a step-by-step for you to see where we go. So Scribe, and we'll hop over here to Scribe. The website is scribehow.com. If I go here, I can get the free version, which allows you to create unlimited scribes. And what scribes are is that you can capture what you're talking about on your screen, and it captures every single step. So what do I mean by that? The idea is that I can record something and explain it to your students, and it's going to snap each of the clicks so it captures that, making it easier for students to follow along. The idea is that we often have students ask, I don't know about you, asking the same thing over and over again. Hey, where do I go here? Where do I click here? So this is really good for supporting flipped learning, where you could actually make these guides. It's not a video, it's step-by-step snapshots that you can even go in and add context to explain what you need to have in there, which is pretty cool. So Scribe, I will point out, so there is the free version, gives you unlimited guides, unlimited pages. That's new. So yeah, Peter, I agree. This is perfect for your English language learners to be able to do that, that ability to capture everybody on the screen. I think that would be perfect. So yeah, thank you for that. It works with any web app because it's anything that's on the web, it can capture, and it's a Chrome extension. So it lives right there in your Chrome bar, so you can grab it. And it's shareable with a link, or you can embed it. So those are the free versions. If you want to start paying for more, then you can get into like branded guides. That's more for businesses. Maybe that's something your school district would want to do. And you can do customizable screenshots. But I think getting started right here, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to create some step-by-step guides. So yeah, awesome. So another favorite tool that I've shared this one a lot over the years, but I bring it back at the beginning of the year because it's one of those tools that teachers are like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. So how many of you have already made 1 million QR codes to put all around your building or in your classrooms for students to find information very easily. That's always one of those go-to tools. I mean, QR codes are magical. What's great about QR Code Monkey is the ability to set the colors. So this is actually one that I created here in QR Code Monkey. So I can set the colors. So I was working with the sponsor for the yearbook at one of my schools, and actually her editor, they were getting ready to do Google Forms to gather students were submitting their quotes, and they were submitting their baby pictures, and they're all going into Google Drive, and they were doing a QR code. And I said, well, do you want to just do a basic QR code, or do you want to be super jazzy? And the editor was like, oh, I want to be super jazzy. And so I showed her how to do this, and it was awesome because they did two-tone colors with the school colors. We put the school logo on it, and it just made it a polished piece to put up all around the school, and it would catch more people's attention, because you can also put a logo. You could do the logo could be a Bitmoji, it could be instructions that's on there. So it's that visual cue for kids to know what that QR code is, especially if you're using like in the media center. Maybe you're in the media center and you've got it all over, tagging different books and stuff. It's pretty cool. We did this for one of my schools last year. They were doing exit tickets with the faculty meeting. And the principal was like, well, it's just a boring QR code. I said, well, we can make it a little bit jazzier. And when the teacher saw that, then they were able to ask me like, oh, I should definitely use that in my classroom. So if you have not checked out QR Code Monkey, I highly suggest that you check out QR Code Monkey, because it is super fantastic tool. Great for those scavenger hunts, exit tickets, for gallery walks as you're putting all around the school stations and centers in your classroom. Great opportunity to do that for your extension activities. So they're like, when you get done, you go here, and that's where they know that is the QR code for those activities. All right. So now we're making it to some of the questions that were submitted by some folks. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. If you're watching live, thank you so much for being here. And if you're tuning in from the future, please add those comments. I will definitely do my best to answer them. I appreciate it. So this was the question that I received, and I get these kind of questions a lot from teachers. I get instructional questions and I get tech questions. And the tech question was, I was hoping you could suggest a wireless display adapter from a laptop to a projector. So I'm thinking hardwire. This is a hardware solution to making it easier, I guess, to be able to be away from with their laptop and not connected directly to the projector. So projector kind of threw me off, because we in our district, we have interactive panels or boards. So I actually have one of these, and it's actually called a screen beam. And actually it's a little meant to pull it out already. So there's like as I drop it, gotta love an answer from an Alexa. No, Alexa off. See, Alexa wants to join in on the show. Never a dull moment. So here we go. So this is actually a hardware solution. This is called a screen beam. This lets you plug into. It's got to be an HDMI. This will plug into a projector or a board. And then this is only for Windows, but you can actually stream to the device. So from a laptop or to a TV, if you were, from your if you're like, hey, I'm just watching some Netflix, but I want to watch it on the big screen, and you can use it. Think of it kind of like a Fire Stick or a Chromecast, but specifically this one is for Windows devices. So when the question was asked, when they said laptop, it made me think this. So that's a simpler, more consumer-based option, not necessarily business, but they do have some other options. So we're gonna hop over here, close out of that. This is they have a couple of different options from ScreenBeam, so you can actually get some more hardware that gives you a couple more options to connect to some other devices. So that was the first thing that came to mind with that hardware solution to a projector. Now, if you were just trying to connect to a device, you could use AirPlay if you've got, Apple TV would work, or you could use Chromecast if you did want to use that kind of a device. But the laptop to a projector meant that it didn't have its own ability to run another device. So that was one suggestion there was ScreenBeam. So, and I've used this one's pretty good. I'm using a Mac right now, but when I was using a Surface tablet, it did come in handy to be able to wirelessly stream. All right. So here's another question that was asked, because now we're back to school and people are starting to do people are starting to stream their events. And people started doing this a lot, you know, in the last couple of years, and people are using Zoom to go to YouTube or go to Facebook. And Zoom is great if you have access to that. We have that in our district, so you can do that. In fact, they were doing Go Team meetings and live streaming the what was it, the Student of the Month program at one of my schools. And so we were using Zoom to those platforms. Currently, right now for this live stream, I'm actually using StreamYard, which is a really powerful tool for me to be able to see comments as they're coming in and me to multi-stream. Because when you use Zoom, you can only go to one platform. So you have to, you know, I think you can multi-stream. I haven't tried it. I think that's a good question. I'm going to double check that before I say you can't. I've not tried it, but you can go to more than one location. I just don't know if you can do it simultaneously. So actually, I get that question all the time. And one of the things you can use is OBS, which I'm using. OBS is a virtual camera, which is, so we'll show you here. This is kind of the magic behind the scenes here. So I'm using OBS to control all the things and make the cameras do what I want them to do. And I'm sending that directly to here into StreamYard. Now, StreamYard lets you for free go to one location, but for a couple for subscription, you can go to 3. So I'm sending hellos to folks who are tuning in on LinkedIn, those of you that are maybe watching on YouTube, or the others that are tuning in on Facebook. So I could only pick 3 locations with my StreamYard account. So I've been looking for other options because I'm my people on Twitter want. So I did a little research, and I just learned about a new tool, and that is called Prism Live Studio. So Prism Live Studio is a broadcasting tool that is like OBS if you've ever used OBS, but it's a little simpler. It's a little bit simpler, and so therefore I've been diving in and learning a little bit about it. So actually for the next coming stream, I'm most likely going to be using it. It is only a Windows only app. It works on Windows 10 and Windows 11. So it is software you download. But what's amazing with it is the ability to, we're going to see if this is going to cooperate. This is always the fun when you go and try to do multiple things. All right. Of course, it wants to update right now when I'm talking. So it's doing a quick little update. But what's cool about this is, 1, it's free, my favorite price. 2, it is the ability to add as many sources as you want that are like, you can do Facebook. So I figured out how I could do Facebook. All right, let's see here. It's doing the updates. Hey, Dave T, good to see you here, friend. And I will be seeing you sooner rather than later. I'm coming to your great state. I'm so excited. We'll talk more about that in a second. But anyway, so I'm gonna suggest Prism Live. I'm gonna put it out there for other folks to be brave and try it with me. So next Just Ask Jen, I plan on trying it. I've been setting it up. It does work with I'm kind of excited. It does work with my Stream Deck, which was kind of important. This is the best little investment right here. I'm serious. Because it has all these magic little buttons that I can hit the buttons. And when I hit the buttons, it goes exactly where I want it to go. So that was another requirement if you be there. And so I just want to put it on your radar. Has anyone heard of it before? If you have, let me know. But I'm playing around, but I wanted to put it out there as another tool. So I'm trying to get one of my schools to be the use case to try it, because it is a little bit easier and it has some really cool functionality. So I wanted to put that out there. All right. So my friend Peter's got a question here. I was wondering if you have any resources for phonics. We have to generate individualized lessons based on specific rules. All right. Now I'm going to be honest, Peter, you know, I'm coming from the middle school background, but I'm going to do some investigating. And this don't laugh, I'm going analog right here because I don't have an answer right now, but I certainly want to get an answer. So I'm making a note right now. Phonics resources. In case your question, look, literally analog. That way, if I stick the sticky note somewhere, I'll remember it. So Peter, give me a chance to do a little investigating, and I will get back to you on that. All right. I like the challenge. You gave me a little homework because that was one of the things moving in my new role. I support K-12 in terms of literacy, but my expertise, I say expertise is, middle and high school, but I'm gonna dive in and I'm gonna see if I don't know, I'll always admit if I don't know the answer, and I'm cool with finding out the answer, and I'll reach out to my literacy experts and see what I can do and find out for you. So thank you so much for that question, Peter. Thanks, Dave, for making me feel better. I don't have a ton of sticky notes. I usually write them all down. I could have gone live and you would have laughed. Me writing into I use OneNote. I'm really trying to use OneNote a lot to keep track of things and I use Google Keep a lot so that I can remember what I wrote down the note. Because if I wrote it here, I need to remember I'm going to stick this note on my laptop so that when I go to work, I have it as a reminder. All right. So those are some of the apps I just wanted to put on your radar there for you to give a try. And a couple of things, just kind of where you can find me, where I'll be upcoming. They're here in Georgia. If you're in Georgia, you can join me at the KSU Mobile Learning Summit. Super excited to be presenting there. That's going to be at Kennesaw State. Then next up, I will be first time visiting North Dakota, and I'll be hanging out with some friends up there in North Dakota at their state technology conference. So excited to share with them. And also we'll be heading to FUTC in New Orleans, and found out today that I will also be going to, so I got to do some updating. I will be going to GHEC. Well, I was going to GHEC, but I got some sessions in at GHEC, which is our state conference. So if you're in Georgia, I'll see you there. And then I'm super excited to see my friend Dave T and all the other folks in Michigan because I've never been to Michigan. I'm super excited. So quite a few things going on coming up in the next few months. So if you all know me, you know that my goal is to visit all 50 states and photograph the Capitol buildings. So checking those off because on my way to North Dakota, guess what? Flying into Minnesota. So 3 states coming up here in just a few months. So excited, right? So exciting. All right. So a few other resources you can check out if you haven't already done so. Check out techtips411.com. I've been updating it, adding some new functionality to it, and kind of cleaning up some resources. So if you haven't been there lately, please check it out. If you have any suggestions of things that you would like to see on the website, please let me know. Since I've now moved into a new role, this website was built for my APS teachers, and then it became something that I just shared with everybody. So now I'm going to just keep working on it and adding resources. It's a labor of love. So if you have anything that you would like to see added to it, please let me know. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Would love for you to do that. That's where most of my content goes. Trying to get better I took a little hiatus on videos, but I'm trying to get back out there creating videos, whether they're live like this, which is a lot of fun, or doing some quick tips and tutorials and lesson examples on there as well. So please subscribe. If you haven't already done so, you can also subscribe to my newsletter. Change the format a little bit. I used to do it every week. I've moved to once a month, but I got to be honest, folks, this is a safe space right here in the interwebs on the YouTubes and all the things. I have kind of missed not doing it every week. So it might come back to, I don't know that it'll come every week. It might be bi-weekly. We'll see. All right, hold on. Dave T's got a challenge for me. Here's a challenge. Can you create a Google Doc collapsing text section? Well, you can do that in a Google site, but I don't know that you can do that. I'm making the note. Doc section. I don't know, but we'll see. That's actually a feature that I added to my website that I can actually now have like kind of an FAQ. Is that kind of what you're thinking? Dave? Is it the idea like an FAQ that like if there's a question and then like it pops down with the, I'm thinking. I know you could make it happen in slides, like you could build it out, but now you got me thinking. Okay. All right, Dave. Dave says yes. Challenge accepted. Y'all gave me some homework, folks, but I appreciate it. Thanks for being here and giving me some challenges. And last but not least, you can check out resources on my Tech Tips 411 app. Anything that I load on the website or share out in my emails, I also put in the app. You can download that. It's actually not a download. It's just save it to your home screen on your Android or iOS device, and you can grab that and easily search for resources. So thank you so much for tuning in for this episode. This was episode number 18 of Just Ask Jen. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this. I so appreciate you spending some time with me. If you're watching from the future, thank you so much. Please like the video so likes get people also able to see it. And if you thought this was interesting, share it with your colleagues and say, hey, check this out. I would so appreciate it. Susan, thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in. And I'm gonna get back at it. That's the goal. And I guess the one thing I should have said that's also was kind of put me on hiatus was that I had to get a new computer, which had to is not the worst thing in the world. But here is the new space. Is anyone else moved to the 3 screen with the portrait option? I'm just saying, it is a game changer. I'm just putting that out there. Anybody else is like, got to have as many screens? I feel like I could launch the, I'm thinking I could launch maybe a space shuttle or two. I don't know. All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have an awesome rest of your week, and I will see you all on the next episode.